Talking about partners with learning and educational institutions, the next gentleman who's coming in was promised, and there was a great teaser coming up earlier from one of the great teasers himself, Asif, and the reference is coming up. AI kya hai? Ye AI. We've done enough talking about AI in the ideation sense. We need to talk about AI now in the practical sense. And it gives me great pleasure to be inviting Dr. Agha Ali Raza to come on stage to tell you what's happening and what you can do. So a great, excited professor of AI, but all real himself. Please put your hands together for Dr. Agha Ali Raza on stage. Aye, Raza.
Am I audible? Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I am here to tell you a story, which should not be a shocker. Anyone who stands between people and their lunch better have a good story to tell. So my name is Agha Ali Raza. I am an associate professor of computer science and artificial intelligence at LUMS. I also deliver AI capacity building programs with PSTD. I live multiple lives, and I'm not trying to define schizophrenia for you. So I live multiple lives, but the only one which might be relevant for you right now is that I work with professionals and leaders from diverse backgrounds, non-tech, to help them make sense of what is artificial intelligence, how it could be useful for them, and in what ways it could be really harmful for them. And that's what I'll be talking about today. Okay, back to the story. We have all grown up listening to bedtime stories, watching cartoons, watching movies. Most of them have a common theme. There is a world of normal humans. There is a person with superpowers. No one else have them. There is just one of those people. Look at your Superman, your Batman, your Wonder Woman, Aladdin with the enchanted lamp, someone with a magic ring, someone with a dagger with a spell on it. And that person then goes ahead and rescues people in distress and helps the whole world. In this particular flavor, which shaped our imagination growing up, no one asks the superhero about what good you are. So you do not interview Superman and say, hey, Superman, what are your unique skills? He says, I can fly. And you say, okay, I'm sold. You're hired. We can't fly. You can fly. You are hired. So this was how we perceived, conceived, envisioned the world to become if superpowers hit the world. And then superpowers did hit the world. People got the superpower to be able to read thousands of books in a few seconds, to write out a research-based strategic report in 15 minutes, to be able to consult a doctor who has seen every scanned image in the world about a particular scanned image. Suppose for a second, now let me pause you here. Let me really pause you here. And I'm talking to each and every individual amongst you right now. Suppose if you were the only person in the world who had access to ChatGPT. Think of that world. Your organization would have worshipped you. Hey, no one mess with Sarah. She can read a book in 3 seconds. Hey, you better keep Ahmed happy. He can take 15 minutes to do what my entire team does over a month. But when these superpowers really hit us, there was a caveat in the story. They did not hit us as unique things to individuals. They hit the market as commodities available for as low as $20 a month. So now you have a world of superheroes. Now you can ask Superman, hey, what you're good for? And he say, I can fly, I have super strength, I have heat vision, X-ray vision. And we say, yeah. Everyone has that. What's your unique advantage? This, my friends, is the world you live in. Just having AI integrated in your processes is now no longer anything that gives you a strategic advantage in the long run. Maybe in the short run, your competitors are a bit slow, they have not done it yet, so you have an advantage over them for a few weeks, months, hopefully not years, but yeah, that might be the advantage, but not more than that. So then, what is that advantage? Okay, let's hold on to that thought. I'll give a pause to that story to start another story. I promised you a story, so I'm giving you two. How bad is that? Let's ask ourselves a question before we unfold the second part of that story. If I were to ask you, okay, let me actually ask you. Please raise your hand, okay, for the last 3 years, your social media feeds have been flooded with a term, machine learning, right? We've all heard it. Please raise your hand if you feel confident in defining what is machine learning. Here's a promise. I will not ask you to give me an answer, so it's just between you and you. It's between you and you. You can fake it if you want to. Okay? I see a few hands. All right. What I'm going to do now, by the way, just out of fun, मैं यहाँ पर एक सवाल और भी पूछा करता हूँ. मैं आपसे नहीं पूछ रहा, so just keep that in mind. I respect you all a lot. But यहाँ मैं एक second सवाल पूछा करता हूँ. Please raise your hand if you have ever engaged in a thorough, heated debate about the capabilities and weaknesses of machine learning. What it can and cannot do, what it will and will not be able to do ever. And usually, I'm not asking you this question, usually like 300 hands go up. So this is right now one of the problems. The basic thing that anyone needs right now is to develop an intuitive understanding, and you don't need to be tech for that. These things are for people who are experts in their own domains, trying to use them for their own benefit. So what I'm going to do over the next few minutes is very simple. I will try to come up with a litmus test for you. Suppose I am someone that you outsourced a project to, so your company wanted an AI-enabled, the hype word, the AI-enabled app, so I am presenting to you an AI-enabled app. How would you perform a litmus test that the thing I'm showing you is indeed AI-enabled, or machine learning-enabled, or plain old computer science, or some other form of automation? Do you have a litmus test? You should have a litmus test. Let's look at a litmus test. Okay, let's start with the big one, artificial intelligence. Simple words. When machines perform activities that we usually associate with intelligence, we call that artificial intelligence. By the way, for those of you who are academically oriented, there are 3 legitimate definitions of AI very different from each other. It has got to do with the evolution of this term from 1950 when it was coined until now. So I'm not going into that discussion. It's just what's relevant right now. When dead machines do things which intelligent things do, we associate those things with intelligent beings. We call that artificial intelligence. Okay, fine, sure. But then how do we do that? Machine learning is just one of the ways of implementing artificial intelligence. One of the ways of creating machines that do intelligent stuff. But this one is really interesting. Machine learning very simply means machines that have the ability to learn from experience. Machines that do not need to be guided or told, they can just figure it out. Okay, all right. Now let's take an example. Suppose I have a robot standing here, a dumb dead robot. Apologies to all robots if they're listening to me. And that robot, I want that robot to figure out the way around this room and then get out from that door. So I'm essentially just asking the robot to get out, but just in a fancier way. There are 2 ways I can do that. I can either, and I would like your attention here because this is the critical point, I can either tell the robot explicitly, okay, from where you're standing, go straight, 5 feet, stop, turn left, go straight, 30 feet, turn right, go straight, 45 feet, turn left, and you're out. This robot will perform these actions flawlessly and will go out of the room. All right. Change the room. Take the robot to a different room. Now ask the robot to do that again. It's going to do the exact same steps and then hit into a wall. Place a body of furniture right between the path of the robot. It's going to hit that directly. This is what plain old computer science looked like. We used to tell our machines step by step, do this, do that, do this, do that, done. Okay, then what changed? Let me build another robot for you. So I built another dumb robot, doesn't know anything. I ask the robot, figure out a way of getting out of the room, and I tell the robot, when you're there, this is how you're going to know it. So suppose there's a barcode there, so it figures out, okay, I'm there, I'm done, I've found my goal. So this robot is going to start from here, go straight, bang into that table. Okay? So रुक गया, मैंने उसको दोबारा पकड़ा, फिर यहाँ रख दिया. The robot goes again. This time it knows that there is a table there. It's going to stop a few inches short of the table and then flip a coin, right or left. So for example, the coin says right, so it goes right and now bangs into that wall. I reset it here a third time. This time it goes there, there, and then flips a coin. Suppose the coin takes it that way. This robot is going to take ages. And hold on to this thought as well. It's going to take ages to figure out the lay of the room. But it's going to eventually figure it out all by its own self. This is how experiential learning works. In this particular case, the robot was learning from its own experience. There are other ways of teaching this robot as well, but there was no instructions included in here. Okay, all right. Take this robot to a different room. This one is going to figure out that room or any other room as long as there is a navigable path from where it's standing to the place where I want it to go. By the way, there is also a name for it. If you're interested, it's called reinforcement learning, this particular type of learning. But you don't need to remember that. So yeah, it is that. Okay, here is the fun point. If I take the two robots, the first one, which I instructed, and the second one, which learned, place them both here, run them both, just by looking at them, you cannot tell which one learned through its own experience and which one was taught by me. This is how we try to fool you. So I place a robot here, which was given a map to the room, and I claim it's an artificially intelligent robot. It might be because it's doing something that we expect intelligent beings to be able to do. But it's not following a machine learning pathway where it learns from its own experience. So keep the very simple definition in mind. If you were to take away like one definition from this, just remember this one thing. In modern machine learning, in modern AI, there is just one thing that we do. We create machines that can learn from experience, get better at tasks. And there is a small, interesting caveat here that I would like to really explain to you. In the early era of machine learning, we tried to train these machines to attain a goal that humans attain, for example, speaking, using the pathway that humans take to get there, just like what we speak. So we have lungs, airstream mechanism, air comes through our vocal folds, it produces a buzzing sound, goes out through our vocal tract, and we produce sounds. If you look at old YouTube videos, black and white, of universities trying to make text-to-speech systems or systems that can speak, you're going to find there are like airstream mechanisms and a buzzer, zzz, on which they attach a rubber mouth, and it goes ba, 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 ba. It sounded horrible. Then somewhere along the pathway, we said, okay, let's change it. We want the machine to reach the human goal, not necessarily following the path of the human. This was a major revolution. So for those of you who might be thinking कि ये थोड़ा सा complex हो रहा है, मैं एक सादा सा end दिखा देता हूँ आपको. अगर आपके ज़हन में कभी ये सवाल पैदा हुआ है ना कि एक मशीन क्या मुझसे बेहतर हो सकती है एक काम में, मैं उसका आपको जवाब देने लगा हूँ. And hold on to your seats. The answer is yes, and not just a common yes, a resounding, measurable, quantifiable yes. In specific tasks, intelligent machines can be, are, and are rapidly more and more becoming so common as becoming better than you. And here is the answer. The answer is that in the old form of machine learning, where the machines were limited to just learning from human data, they were following the instructor, the human. in whatever it was doing. So a chess-playing bot is learning from the moves of all the masters that they have made in the past. That machine can never beat a master because it has just learned from the master. But the fun part begins when, after that initial training, we train two machines and make them play against each other. These machines are now playing millions of games per night. And these machines do not and are not limited by the moves that humans make. This is where these machines develop methods which no human have ever tried. This is where these machines become better than us. So remember your modern machine learning methods. They are not bound to work according to the principles that humans have laid out for themselves in attaining the intelligent behavior. They can take a different path to get to the same goal. And sometimes they are better than humans to do that. If in the question answer there's a question about it, I would love to go into more of these details why the machines could be better than us. All right, final, last definition. आप कहेंगे किधर आ गए, क्लास में ही फंस गए, इसलिए भाग के निकले थे, यहीं वापस आ गए. Just the last one. उसके बाद फिर हम मजे की बातें और करेंगे. Okay, so generative artificial intelligence. What does that mean? Well, जब से हमने ये machines बनाई थी, in most of our history of AI and machine learning, these were just used for decision making. Is this a photograph of a cat or a dog? Does this face have a happy emotion, sad emotion, surprised emotion, or angry emotion, or whatever? Just giving categories, classes. This is what the machines used to do. Somewhere along the pathway, we thought, hey, here we have a machine which can distinguish between a cat and a dog with an accuracy of 99.5%. This machine better knows, like it really knows what a cat looks like. Can we ask the machine, hey machine, can you draw a cat for me? And interestingly, some of those algorithms through which we created those machines were able to do that. And this is what we call generative artificial intelligence. So machines that learn from experience and then are able to create new, original, there is an underline there, new original content. Right now, what you see in the world is content in the form of text, images, audio, and video, which in no means is a limit on this. So as soon as our 3D printing is cheap enough, these machines will be creating tangible artifacts for you. Create for me a vase which could fit really well on this podium and not fall, maybe. These machines, if they're building machines like themselves and better machines, which is one of the, right now, big goals of the big tech, that the next model of your AI models should be generated by the AI model. Not there yet, but as soon as that happens, what you're seeing, the snowballing, that now new models are coming out more quicker, is that more and more machines are getting involved in the coding of the new models. Eventually, it won't require the human. That's where it's going to really hit the snowball. It's going to happen really, really quickly. Okay, all right. So now we have all the definitions. Now we can go back. Let me ask a very simple question. Remember I said that your superpowers are no longer your unique value? That's not enough? So then what should we do? Okay, I'm going to talk about 3 models of integration of AI into an existing human process. So think of your organization, and you're asking yourself this question, do I need to integrate AI? And how? Here are 3 possible answers. The first one, and I'll be very candid. The hype. It's a hip word. It's hot. It's going to sound buzz to call our organization an AI-enabled organization. Let's not think about anything else. Let's just throw AI in the mix, and let's hope for the best. This is indeed one of the models, which ends up creating AI-enabled paperweights, AI-enabled garden soil, AI-enabled petrol, and things like that. Like you really did not think a lot about what the AI-enabled or AI enablement is going to do here. I'm not going to argue against this. This is good for stuff. This is good for marketing. This is good for getting funding. So but we're going to move ahead from this one to a serious one, the one that I call evolutionary AI integration, or AI which enhances an existing process. In this integration, and this is, by the way, the most common AI integration happening throughout the world right now. So you have an existing process. People are doing that right now. You want to bring in AI to enhance it. Make it quicker, scale it, make it more accurate, whatever your definition of enhancement is. Okay, so for example, your coders are coding right now, but you create a code autocomplete. It just speeds up the coding of the coders. For example, your doctors are already looking at the scans of MRI scans and X-ray scans. You use AI to highlight some parts of it and tell, okay, focus here, there might be something wrong here. It's just making it faster. Your marketing people are sending out 10 emails right now per day. You want it to enhance it to 100 emails per day, you use AI. It's just making something faster. Just a quick comment about this particular integration. It requires a lot of deep thought before you move ahead with this. You need to know, qible ka pehle se pata hona chahiye. You need to know where you want to go. Is it really 100 marketing emails you're targeting? Or the yield of those emails that you're targeting? Or actual customers that you acquire that you're targeting? Or actual paid customers that you're targeting? So the AI should be measured carefully. The integration should be measured carefully in a pilot study before you do any actual integration across your organization. याद रखें, आपकी organizations आज चल रही हैं, बहुत अच्छी चल रही हैं. AI को लाकर उस चलती चीज़ को खराब ना करें, अपनी चीज़ को enhancement की तरफ ले जाने के लिए AI लेकर आएं. Okay, let's talk about the third one that almost no one talks about. This is what I call a revolutionary AI integration or essential AI. Okay, here's the definition. Using AI, using your new superpower to enable something which never existed in your organization. Okay, this is a hard one. Because if AI is essential for this, then by definition, this process does not exist in your organization right now if you're not AI enabled. Okay? This is what's gonna give you, in the long run, the bang for the buck. Because this is you coming up with a new use case. Remember, for a very long time, we knew that personalized, customized tutoring can perform much better than a classroom environment. So, अगर आपको आपके हिसाब से सिखाया जाए तो ज़्यादा बेहतर सीख सकते हैं. We knew that. This was not something possible. We cannot have as many teachers as there are students in the world. Well, let's revisit that list of impossibles with our new super-powered friend. It's possible. So your systems which are now becoming possible because of AI, which never were possible. A doctor-patient conversation that a machine listens to, creates a note out of it. That's what ambient scribes are doing throughout the world right now. So these are unlocking impossibles using AI. I take a position that this is where eventually organizations should be going. And how do you do that? AI people are not much help there. You, the people who have 15, 20 years of experience in your organization, you are the right people to understand and identify those impossibles which now are no longer impossible. Okay, all right. How much time do I have? 10 minutes? 10, okay, great. So let's take a look around the world. People have integrated AI in their organizations. It has led to some really good outcomes. It has also led to some catastrophes. As Asif talked about very nicely about the framework of preventing those catastrophes, I will actually spell out some of those names. So apologies to any representatives of those organizations. I'm just getting this information from public records and studies. There is a link underneath every slide, जहाँ पर मैं किसी भी चीज़ का जिक्र कर रहा हूँ. The organizations which have now finally presented that, okay, we are getting the ROI, we are getting a lot of benefit out of our AI integration. Our goal is not to look at the organization, our goal is to glean lessons. What went right and what did not go right. Okay, let's start. UPS. So the US-based company which delivers your parcels, United Parcel Service, I think it stands for. One of their biggest challenges is route optimization. So the trucks are going around, they are delivering the parcels. What's the most optimum route? It has huge implications on the cost of fuel, cost of maintenance, also leading to any possible delays to the delivery of the packages, leading to grumpy customers, and so on and so forth. So it's a big deal. Unfortunately, from the computer science side, this route optimization in the general sense is not possible. Do you want me to use the technical term? We call it NP-hard. It's known as the traveling salesman problem. It's NP-hard. What does that mean? You're not going to get there anytime soon. And even if you get there, you're not going to find out anytime soon that you have gotten there. This is as close to a non-mathematical definition, which was true to the mathematical definition that I could give you. So you cannot solve this problem in the general sense. What UPS did, they brought in AI to estimate dynamically the best route for every driver. So what they report is that this Orion AI that they're using, it analyzes 200,000 routing options per driver per day, dynamically based on the current traffic situation and everything, much like your Google Maps, just a better version of it. And it tries to optimize the path. Earlier, they used to just rely on the intuition of the driver, the knowledge of the driver in terms of the routes and everything. So they report that they reduced the travel by 100 million miles per year and saved $300 to $400 million annually by 2024-25. Okay, let's keep this in mind and let's move on. Predictive maintenance. Every organization dealing with machinery knows that maintenance and downtimes because of unscheduled maintenance could be a big source of losses. The bigger you are, the bigger these things are going to hit you. Predictive maintenance means, as opposed to, for example, timed scheduled maintenance, where you are doing the maintenance after, let's say, every month or every week or whatever, a particular cycle, that old process leads to either over-maintenance, wasting money, wasting parts, or under-maintenance, where there are now unexpected failures all around the place. Predictive maintenance means that machine learning models learn from various sensors that, okay, this is the speed of the motor, this is the heat of the part, and so on and so forth. Now this part needs maintenance. Just do it before it fails. This is a really big one for organizations that are into manufacturing. So Alcoa, which is a big lead in aluminum and alumina and bauxite, so they integrated this predictive maintenance. They report an ROI in 3 months. They report that there is a 20% reduction in unplanned downtime. Okay, let's keep it warm and fuzzy for one more slide. Okay, so Humana. So this is related to insurance and information about health insurance. They had always relied on these IVR systems to provide people access to information. So press 1 to do this and 2 to do that and so on, which does lead to a lot of customer frustration. Who amongst us has not experienced it personally? So they integrated IBM Watson voice agent. This was mentioned by many respectable speakers before me. So they integrated these technologies, and the win is that the system handles 7,000 calls per day at 1/3 the cost with 90 to 95% accuracy, a really, really high accuracy. So 3 wins. Okay, let's go to the other side, to the dark side. Air Canada. They created a customer support chatbot. So there was a passenger who had lost one of the grandparents, and the passenger asked the bot about bereavement fare. The bot hallucinated, which means said something it was not trained to do, but it was just trying to please the customer, so it came up with a new policy. So the bot said, you can apply this retrospectively. So travel now, and afterwards you can get a refund. So when the passenger applied for a refund, Air Canada said, hey, look at the fine print. It clearly says you can never get refunds. You should have applied it ahead of time. So that nice person filed a lawsuit. Air Canada pleaded that the bot is an independent agent and it does not represent our rules, which did not fly in the court. And Air Canada was made to do the payout. And what they believed in was a black box and independent thing. The court's verdict was that whatever the bot says, that's what your organization says. Okay, that's one. There was no human in the loop, by the way. Okay, Zillow, the real estate giant. This is a slightly older one. That's why I've explicitly mentioned here 2021. So we have not been failing recently. We have been failing for a while. 2021, they came up with an AI-based method called Zestimate. Zestimate used to estimate the price of properties based on various features of that property. They trusted the method so much that they used those estimates and started buying property. So they kept doing it for a while, apparently. And it was realized after a while that the AI was failing to account for all the features which are important, like market cooling off and the maintenance costs and other things. And they finally had to admit that they have lost $304 million, and as a result, they also fired 25% of their staff. To what I understand, that wing was no longer working after that. All right. New York City, 2024, they came up with a chatbot to support new businesses, to give them information about how to set up a business in New York. The chatbot was trained to be polite to the users, and we don't have time right now, but there is a process of training this, which essentially makes these bots people pleasers. So what was found was that the bot was giving illegal advice to businesses, like stealing tips from the waiters, and businesses to go cashless, which is they're mandated by law not to do so. So the bot was giving them this advice. There are also an NYU article on this where a professor pointed this out even before the whole catastrophe unfolded. But this is what happened. Okay, so we have seen sweet, we have seen bitter. Let's look at another one. Klarna. It's a Sweden-based organization. They also had a chatbot. It's a fintech organization. So they also had a chatbot. They integrated OpenAI's assistant for customer support. They reported that the bot handled 2.3 million chats in 1 month. This is the work of 700 agents. It reduced repeat inquiries by 25%, meaning it was giving better advice, and resolved tickets in 2 minutes instead of 11 minutes. So it was celebrated quite a lot as a big win of AI. As a result, they reduced their workforce from 5,500 in late 2022 to 3,000 by late 2025. Okay? And then finally, very recently, their CEO admitted, now that we have fired the people, our customers are actually preferring human support over AI in every complex case. So the last I know is that they're planning to rehire. So sweet, over-exaggeration, then very bitter. All right. What really went wrong in those examples? One, trusting too much, placing too much trust on the black box, assuming it's going to work and not knowing that the burden of responsibility does not and will never in the near future lie on AI. It lies on the people running AI. So you are responsible for whatever you co-produce with AI. It's not a good defense to say, I didn't do it, my AI did. It's not my problem. Go sue Sam Altman. You can't do that. They have a disclaimer, you don't. So you are responsible. Rule 2, the people who are running that AI better be qualified to be responsible. You create a doctor model that's providing actual information, medical health information to your patients, to your customers, and there is no oversight of a real doctor. If something goes wrong, if the model says something wrong, and it will, come to one of our workshops. I'm going to make you do that. It will give wrong answers. But when it does, who takes the responsibility? A normal person who was sitting with that, a non-doctor, they cannot. They can't even understand what's going wrong. What's wrong with that advice? So experts in the loop, not just human in the loop, experts in the loop. This actually came out, this was a paper from Microsoft, came out in the middle of the year, where they showed that that's the only viable direction right now, expert prompting. Because the experts know how to ask the question and how to verify the outcome before it goes to a real human being who's asking that question. And it also depends on the stakes which are involved in the whole thing. So do small pilots, don't unleash it throughout your organization. Integrate your own organization's knowledge. That's going to give you that unique edge. It's not just the general models which are coming out. And this does not, I agree with Asif, this is not a full-fledged training. This is a much simpler path than the training. You just integrate your organization's knowledge into the AI. Keep the human in the loop. If you can't do it real time, then do very close checks afterwards. Audits. Figure out if your AI has shortlisted CVs for you, Have a bunch of humans also shortlist CVs and then compare. See whether the humans would have come up with the same answers. Don't just unleash it that, okay, now it's doing the work for me, so I'm good there. And then when you do go production scale, know that there is something called, all of these are statistical models. When something happens in the world which is not common, we call it a black swan, a rare event. When those things happen, these models have no idea of those happenings. There is a war, there is an earthquake, there is something else. The model doesn't know. It cannot accommodate those things. So you need to keep a very close eye. Again, technical people need to keep a very close eye on that distribution drift, as we call it, that the underlying probabilities have changed. The model is no longer now predicting according to the new universe. All right, I would like to end with this video. Who's this? Okay, Morgan Freeman. Let's run the video.
I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real. Well, at least in contemporary terms, it is not. What if I were to tell you that I am not even a human being? Would you believe me? What is your perception of reality? Is it the ability to capture, process, and make sense of the information our senses receive? If you can see, hear, taste, or smell something, does that make it real? Or is it simply the ability to feel? I would like to welcome you to the era of synthetic reality. Now, what do you see?
It's a deep fake. That's no big deal. You have seen much better deep fakes than that. That's not why I played this video. I played this video for just one sentence that was somewhere in there. I would like to welcome you to the era of synthetic reality. My last message to you is, don't think of AI as a tool, as one of the other tools that you're using, your Microsoft Word, your PowerPoint, your Power BI. Think of artificial intelligence, and I'm not saying it is that, I'm just saying it's a better mental model. Think of artificial intelligence as a new life form, an artificial species. You know what the species mindset has that the other mindset does not? Have you ever seen any marathon, any race where humans are competing against horses? People do all sorts of crazy stuff. I have never seen a video in my life where there are like 4 Olympic runners going against 4 horses. Why? Because we have, as a species, made peace with the fact that a horse runs faster than us. It is better than us, and we're okay with that. But we also know at the same time that a horse cannot beat me at a game of chess. We also don't play chess with horses for the opposite reason. So species simultaneously could be better than you in one thing, and much worse than you, not even coming close to your abilities, in a very different thing. This is what AI is right now. In certain narrow domains, AI is now better than humans. But that does not mean at all that AI even comes close to human intellect in a general sense. This is the lesson that we need to keep reminding ourselves of. If it's able to solve language, this is not all what we were. We were maybe bigger than that, better than that. So it's maybe a really great time to rediscover through AI what it means to be a human. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to request you to stay on stage. Thank you ever so much. Let's take that center stage. You're standing in front of your own QR, which is fine with me, but but yes, welcome to the synthetic reality. Let's make it an absolute reality to acknowledge the contributions that you're making. Thank you for ending on that particular note. I'd request Adil Sharif to please come on stage to hand over a memento to Dr. Agha Ali Raza for all the great wisdom. Your round of applause to welcome Adil back on stage. Thank you, Adil. It is not just a matter of knowing what it is, which I hope we have a better insight on, but also understanding the role it plays and the role we are supposed to play in those 3 very clear ways that we can take on, and the 4 or the 5 careful measurements that we need to take on. Another species has come in. Don't be afraid, doesn't have to be completely taking over you right now, but it's good enough to co-inhabit. Thank you. Dil, can I keep you on stage right now? Your round of applause for Dr. Agha Ali Raza. Thank you.